This is the Aspadz Qreate with a Q City Air. A cool looking drop frame commuting e-bike, which is quite nice on the wallet and yet still has some higher end gear. Let's find out if it's any good. That's right, this is the Aspadz Qreate City Air, a new 3D printer, e-bike from Aspadz. Also kind of known as A-Spadz. I don't know why. Maybe because of the motor in the head of the bike. I don't know. The motor's actually in the hub of the bike, motor hub. It is a 250 watt motor, 36 volt battery, top speed, assist speed of 15.5 miles per hour, no throttle, making this a totally UK EU legal e-bike. Now I've got no throttle and I've got a cadence sensor here, which means as soon as it detects me doing a bit of pedaling, then, too slow, then it kicks in. But it took ages then. It's seeming to take about 2 rotations to kick in, but once it does kick in, it is quite nice. It just gives that full power all the time that cadence sensors do. So you can be lazy, just plan your escape better than I do then. The motor is an Ananda motor, which while not quite up there with Bafang, they're all right. They're better than a lot of the no-name motors you can get. And actually, especially for the price, because this is under €1,000, maybe even less because of discount codes, you get some decent equipment on here. You've got hydraulic brakes, undershifters from Shimano, 7 gears, like that. Right, so kick in, please, kick in. There we go, it's gonna kick. Suffice to say, it's not a super fast bike. It is a drop frame, as you can see, which is ideal for people who don't want to get their leg over, or people who just want to hop on, hop off. And being a drop frame with the battery underneath, quite concealed, it doesn't really scream, look at me, I'm expensive, steal me, which is nice. That battery is 13.5 amp hours, 36 volts, which is 486 watt hours, and they reckon it's got a range of 90 kilometers. We'll drop in at the end to see if that's realistic. It does have 3 speed settings: eco, power, normal. I'm in power right now because I'm ready for the hill. In eco, it's 90 kilometer range, power's 60, normal 63, so hardly any difference. And here we are on the worst road in Wolverhampton still. The first part has been repaired, but that bit's still crap. But it didn't feel too bad because it does have front suspension, which is oil based. However, it isn't lockable, so you can't lock it out, but it doesn't seem to easily bottom out or make any annoying noises, which is good. Now both sides have preload, which is kind of unfortunate because it never works that well. It's our test time. Not too bad. As I often say, because the wheels aren't too thin, and especially because you've got front suspension, you'll be able to do paths like this easy on a commute. It's not an off-road bike, but it can go off-road. Now, in terms of torque, well, one part of the website says 35 Newton meters, the other side says 53. 3, 2, 1, go. Once it kicks in, there we go. Now, don't trust torque figures from manufacturers. I don't think they know either, hence the 2 different numbers. I'm going to say this is probably 35, even though in big writing it says 53. But the thing we can believe is this hill and my leaderboard. Does it get up? And we're getting to the factory. I'm not putting any effort in, I'm just keeping the pedals turning. We got past the grip box. It's not too bad actually. The tyres have just gone over the conker shells. It might actually, no, it's conking out now. I always say I'll stop at like, if it gets to 3 miles an hour. But it's hanging on 5. We're actually gonna, I think it's gonna get up. It's about a 12% hill this, at its steepest. You do get a bit of a run up at the start, however, when bikes are locked to 15.5 miles per hour, their run up is obviously limited. but we're actually going to get up, which is nice. Obviously, if you were going to put effort in yourself, you'd get up a lot faster than this. You could probably get up at 15.5 miles an hour. But that's, you know what, I'm actually impressed. I was pretty certain that I was going to fail that. And across the line.
And the Aspadz Qreate City Air becomes only the second 36-volt e-bike to ever make it up our hill, and the only real 250-watt 36-volt e-bike to ever make it up the hill. That is really impressive.
Which means I'm actually inclined to believe the torque figure, based on all the other torque figures I've looked at, of 53 rather than 35. Not bad, not fast, but it did it. And on a bike like this, you can't really ask much more than that. 7-speed Shimano Torquey gears. And I'm going 19, 21, without trying too hard. If you're sort of fit, just not totally unfit, I reckon you could easily cruise at around 22 on this. But if you don't want to put any effort in at all, it'll happily take you around at 16-ish. Right, 0 to 15, 3, 2, 1, go. See, one rotation to kick in, not helping, and stop. Right, not the fastest, but he got there. For some reason on the website, you can't find out how heavy this is. It just tells you the capacity is 150 kilograms. So I weighed it myself, and it is 26 kilograms. So for an e-bike, it's kind of like mid-weight. Some people would take it upstairs. A lot of people wouldn't want to, but luckily the battery is easily removable. To remove the battery, you've got to take the key, you've got to put it in there, give it a twist and it drops down, but then it won't come out. So you're going to keep it twisted and then kind of pull it out. But it doesn't always want to come out. Hang on. There we go. And there is a warning sticker when you first get it to say, put your hand under the battery so you don't accidentally drag it onto the floor, because that could happen. So be wary of that. And obviously to get it back in, you just shove it back in and the key automatically locks. So you don't need the key to run the bike. Now, for those people who wanted to skirt the UK laws, there is a connector for a throttle. Of course, you are allowed a throttle as long as it doesn't assist you more than 6 kilometers per hour without pedaling. I'm not sure if that will do that. If you plug a throttle in, it might just be that it takes you all the way to the maximum. In terms of speed unlocking, not entirely sure, because there is an option on the computer to change the speed, but it's kind of greyed out, so you can't select it. And you also can't select the wheel size, because some people can get a better speed by decreasing the size of the wheel. So unless there's a wire to unplug or something like that, it's best you see this as a totally legal commuting e-bike. And you know what? It feels quite nice. It's fairly comfortable. It is a bit low at the front. You can higher the handlebars slightly by increasing the angle, but it's not going to get you that much. I do feel I'm kind of leaning forward a bit, so it's not totally relaxing in terms of like going down the bakery and getting some bread type relaxing riding, but it's all right. And the hand grips are fairly comfortable with its palm rests, and because of the front suspension, I'm not getting too much vibration through my arms. Now, there is a link in the description if you want to purchase this, but I wouldn't yet, because we haven't talked about negatives or anything like that, and also you don't know if you're going to fit on it. So let's see what sizes of people can ride on it. Let's see how low we can go. So I think you'd be okay on this if, me being 5'9", shortish inside leg, I don't know, like 5'6", 5'5" maybe. Minimum insert is quite high. Woo! I'm about that far off the floor, so you'd probably be okay up to like high 6 foot, mid to high 6 foot. In terms of little accessories on the bike, it's got a normal bell, but you can unscrew the bell and put an air tag in there, which is kind of cool. The TFT screen, now it is sunny and I can see it really well. I don't know if you can, because you're usually at a different angle to me, so you get all the reflections, but from where I am right now, it's really clear. And the number, the speed, really big and bold, as is the battery indicator. And then it's got your information, time, trip, current trip mileage, odo, and then up and down changes the speed settings from 0. Let's go 0 for a bit up this hill. So I'm in 0 now. It's not too bad. Like, you can tell the bike's a bit heavier than a normal bike, and being a hub motor, it doesn't give you that much, if any, drag. Pedal assist 1. Looks like you go about 5 miles an hour. 2, about 7. 3, about 11. 4, oh, felt that. About 13. And then 5, back to normal. Unless you want exercise, or like more exercise, you just stick it in 5. Saddle so far is fairly comfortable. It's got a nice chain guard, so you're not going to rub your trousers on the chain. Not only are there lights on the front and the back, but we've also got lights on the battery, and to activate those, there's a little button on the battery, and you just hold it down until they come on. They're quite nice. Bit of extra visibility at night, can't hurt anyone. Let me show you that NFC. So it's actually turned off right now, and you've got these two little NFC things, near field communication cards, which you obviously can take off. So you can have a password on this, but if you use this, you can just turn it on, in theory. Well, I couldn't get NFC to work, but I think it's because I didn't use the app. I have downloaded the app, but it asks you to scan the barcode to get the app connected to the bike. But that's the only barcode I can see, and I couldn't get my phone to focus on it, which was quite annoying. So I didn't bother, but I'm pretty sure that if you go in the app, you'll be able to turn on NFC, and then these cards will turn the whole thing on. Fingers crossed anyway. What I will say, let's just get in a bit early with the negatives. So, although I do like that cadence sensors give you the full power all the time, so you can be lazy if you're like me, it does take pretty much a whole rotation, and sometimes it feels like more, to get going. So if you are at a hill or a roundabout, you do need to be careful. Also, I would like lockable front suspension. The front and rear mud guards, so they give you front and rear mud guards, which is great, but there's so many like adjustment points on them that it's very easy to not have them adjusted right. So it takes a bit of fine tuning. So right now when I brake, I hear a little kind of tinkling noise. It seems a bit unnecessary, all that extra adjusting, but I suppose once you've got it perfect and all tightened in, then that's good. But generally, it just feels like pretty nice. A bit of quality control issue. There was like, it's a nice colour. I really like this white, but there's like a mark on it where you can see the metal underneath. So I don't know, they need a bit more extra padding in there. It seemed well padded, and things can happen. So I don't know if it happened in transit or before it even got to the box. And then there's a couple of marks on the top by the handlebars. The wiring, it's a bit messy at the front. Right, now let's test out these hydraulic disc brakes made by Gemma. I don't know who Gemma is, but apparently she makes decent brakes. So I'm going 16-ish miles an hour. Stand is adjustable. Doesn't seem quite as solid as some other stands, but seems all right. 1, 2, 3. So yeah, they work pretty well. You can see there's a space for a bottle. You got a rear rack, which has a maximum capacity of 25 kilograms, and it's also got attachments for their own little special side bags. You can fit one there and one on the other side. And the pedals are just simple plastic, but I quite like them, to be honest. I kind of prefer hard plastic with rubber than metal ones, but I wouldn't say they're better, I just prefer them. Nice soft saddle. Seems to be a little bit of movement in the headset. Might need tightening up. So just before we check on the final range, let's see how the bike arrived and how easy it was to put together. Spoiler alert, it was very easy to put together.
It's quite a big but light box. That's inside the box. That's what it looks like when you take it out. Don't touch, don't touch, don't touch, don't touch. We got a bell, a light, an instruction thing to scan, quick release for the wheel, 2-amp charger, toolkit, and pedals. Bit of transportation damage that proves this bike is indeed a cyborg. And a few scratches here and here. Ouchie. Get the pedals on. Get the front mudguard and the front light on. Ooh, scan for the app. And the 2-amp charger is charging the 13.5 amp hour battery, and it should be done in about 6 to 7 hours.
So now's the time to jump into the future And will that range add to the negatives, or will it be okay? So we've done just over 15 miles, 15.5 miles, pretty much all on power mode. I have had a little ride on normal and eco. They're all right. They just basically accelerate a little bit slower, don't give you quite as much power if you're up a hill. So if you are riding around on flat, then eco and normal is fine. If you do have a few hills, then I'd stick to the power mode. Still very impressed it made it up Sandy Lane without any help. We are on 4 out of 5 bars. We have been on 4 for a while, so I'm probably due to drop down to 3, but I think in power mode, pedal assist 5, 105 kilograms with all my clothes on and my bag and everything, I could see you easily getting over 30 miles on this, and easily the 60 kilometers if you do drop it down in the pedal assist settings, and if you're a bit lighter than me as well. It does cruise really well at about 16.5 miles an hour. I was riding at 16.5 miles an hour and I thought, this feels quite good. I decided to put the power level down and it was exactly the same. So it was all me doing it. And as a bike, without the motor and stuff, it felt quite good. So, quite impressed. And that was the A-Spadz Qreate with a Q City Air, which I think, especially for €999, maybe less with discount codes, check in the description, it's a very nice city commuter bike. If you've just got a job where, you know, a few miles away, get there and back in comfort without getting all sweaty, especially if you don't want to go too fast. I like it. If you're interested in it, there is a link in the description. If you use it, it will help the channel. It'll give us a bit of commission, but it won't cost you any extra. All it'll do is take you to the place that you would have gone to anyway if you'd searched on Google. So if you use that link, I'd appreciate it. If not, not to worry. Thank you so much for watching, if you're still here. If you enjoyed that video or it helped, give us a thumbs up. If not, give us a thumbs down, but let us know in the comments why, so I can improve. And until next time, cross the road and ride safe. That's cool.